There we go.
Hi guys, welcome back to
Hello.
another episode of the Geekly Show. This one is super duper awesome because this is a very special episode. We will be talking about an award-winning film, and this episode was actually Amanda's idea, believe it or not, you guys.
Sometimes she has good ones.
She does. This is brilliant. So, actually, Amanda, would you like to introduce our amazing award-winning guests today?
I would. You see, I'm in professional mode today, right? I got my glasses on. I was even a little nervous this morning. I was like, oh, we got the writer, director, Michael Starr here, and actress, like a bonus. I didn't even know about this. A bonus. Kim Reed. She plays Judith in the new movie Cicada Song. So, welcome.
Well,
Thank you.
Welcome, guys.
Hi, everybody.
How are you?
Well, when my mom first told me about this movie that she was going to be in, I was like, what is this? But then it came out, and this is what we were talking about right before. I'm going to start out bragging about y'all. I'm going to start out bragging about you, Michael and Kim, because I didn't know that you won three, not just one or two, three awards for this movie. Well, tell me about it. Tell me about it. Don't be shy. I want to hear all the braggings.
Well, we finished the film with the help of your mom and dad as well. You know, they put up some actors in the film. Your mom cooked for them. Your dad jammed with them. It was insane.
I got to jam with your dad.
Yeah.
He's amazing. It was awesome.
Yeah, no, we love your mom and dad immensely. So basically, we submitted to some festivals, and we got into three of them. Yeah. Which we submitted to a handful. We were looking at distributors, and we just wanted to see how the movie would do. And we got into the Catalina Festival. Mm-hmm. We got into the Highland Park Festival and the Glendale International Festival, and we ended up winning all three festivals. We don't know how that happened, but we did, and we ended up getting picked up for distribution with Indie Rights Movies, which they now put us on Amazon, Apple TV, and we're on Google Play now too, which I just found out today. One of my friends in Canada rented the movie on Google Play. So we're international at the moment.
That's
so exciting,
isn't it? So that is awesome.
Actually, the film won 3 awards, but our cinematographer won Best Cinematography at the Glendale International.
Yeah.
And our lead actress won Best Actress at the Glendale. So technically, we were in 3 festivals. We won 5 awards.
5 awards. Whoa!
Film won Best
awesome.
Festival 3.
That's exciting. Well, for those who haven't watched it yet, which I don't know why you haven't, because I've been telling y'all a week now how good it is. Tessa,
everybody.
Amir, I will give you two a pass, because I know this past week we've been busy. We've been out of town and stuff. But for the rest of y'all, if you haven't, it's on Amazon. You said Amazon, Apple TV, and Google Play now.
Yeah. If you do watch it, please rate and review it. Make sure that you interact with us, because I do respond to reviews, and it really helps the movie grow with the reviews and the ratings. So anything you can do to help our little film and Amanda's mom and dad.
Yes, Tina, a must see. Well, but for those who haven't seen it yet, you want to tell them a little bit about it? I know one thing. I'm not going to give any spoilers. No spoilers on this one. Y'all have to watch and see what it's about. But what can you tell us about with the film? And you wrote and directed this, so I would like to know a little about that as well. But go ahead. First about the film.
Well, it's a mystery thriller, kind of in the Nancy Drew vein. If y'all like Nancy Drew, I mean, I grew up watching Nancy Drew and the Hardy Boys, and I love the Coen brothers and a lot of their stuff. So we wanted to make kind of a Nancy Drew, Coen brothers kind of situation. It's not Coen brothers, no Coen brothers, but except the Coen brothers. But I wanted to kind of take a slice out of that pie and tell a story about, a lot of the things that we feel we're very passionate about. There's a lot of things in the film that deal with social injustice, and we feel like we're not offering any solutions. We're just kind of opening a discussion, and we hope that the mystery aspect, the genre aspect, will enhance that. And
I don't want to take it over. Do you and Amira have questions? Because I can go on and on.
Well, I was just going to ask, I mean, you mentioned social injustice, and since you wrote the movie, was that something that was dear to your heart to kind of create a story around that, or has it been something that's been important to you for years and you just figured this would be a good time to create a film around it?
Well, I was an RN for 13 years, and I care about people, and I just feel like we're all in this together, and there's just too much hate. So it's not that we're pointing a finger at hate. I think we're just kind of putting our finger on the pulse of what the issues are. So, there's an LGBT element, there's a migrant element where, children are going missing, and there's, the whole farmer element in this as well. There's a lot of farmers out there that are struggling. They're trying to find ways to survive, and, we're not pointing a finger at anybody. We're not doing anything to, necessarily upset anybody, but
the film raises a lot of issues for discussion. So it's, I think we put it in a wonderful kind of homeland. We should probably give you the log line of the film too. So the people who haven't watched should actually know the log line. So kind of the whole storyline. Go ahead. In case you haven't gone to the website.
Right under the bus. Well, it's basically Karen, who is the lead character in the film, is left for dead in the wilderness after uncovering a dark secret in her hometown while searching for her missing Latina lover and a migrant child that both went missing without a trace.
Mm-hmm. And when did you write this?
We actually were kicking this idea around in 2016.
Okay.
It originally started because, we're in California, and we had this drought that lasted almost 2 years. Mm-hmm. And, we were kind of looking at some of the ways that we could, do an environmental piece. So we started off writing like a water shortage piece, but it was more about the big companies like siphoning water tables and, getting cancer and the fish dying. And then I was like, well, Aaron Brockovich kind of did that. Yeah. But then, we were having a discussion about, because we put it on the shelf.
Yeah.
And, we were in the car driving out to a friend's house, and we were discussing, what our options could be. And Kim's like, well, there's a big problem with human trafficking. And I said, let's just stop the conversation right there. That's what we have to do. Mm-hmm. So we called Lindsay. We called our friend Shay. Tom Bellows, who's a producer on the film.
Shay Smith, Tom Bellows, Lindsay Lance is our lead character, who also won the
won the Best Actress award. But Lindsay and I knew each other from school, and we've always been talking about doing a film together. So I asked her, I said, "What kind of film do you want to do?" And she says, "Survival." And I said, "How dirty are you willing to get?" She's like, "The dirtier, the better." We put her through the ringer.
She is weird. She's now a firefighter. She's actually a firefighter.
Okay.
Yeah.
She got her shield last month. Her big girl shield.
Very proud of.
Yeah, she was always commenting about how small her rookie shield was.
She could put that next to her award then too.
For sure.
Yeah, she threw herself out. She got in there, and it's a good thing that your mom was on set because she's a nurse. She was actually our set nurse. So Nancy was our set nurse. So we felt confident if anything went wrong. Besides Michael, of course.
And everyone's
your mom is certified and registered now. So.
Yeah, we're all certified.
And everyone survived her cooking. I'm kidding, Mama. I'm kidding.
She made gumbo for us, she's like, "I'm gonna make my special gumbo."
That's what she sounds like too.
I can't find an andouille sausage, so I'm just gonna have to use this. But it was delicious.
And
I was so honored that she made, because I told her how much I love Creole and Cajun cooking, and she's like, "Well, I'm just gonna have to make you a gumbo." So she did, and it was delicious. There's your mom right there.
I know. I'm in trouble.
Yeah. But we actually, when we were writing the story, we sat down in my living room and we discussed ideas about what we thought would be important and how we could go about them without being on the nose. We didn't want to hammer and nail it in. We wanted to kind of have people form their own opinions of it, and basically we sat down for about 2 months and kind of stretched out the story as far as we could, and then I went in and wrote it over about 3 months to kind of hone the story, giving notes back and forth. And
I think I read 17 of your 20 some odd drafts.
It was about 20.
I wanted to make sure it was solid. I mean, you don't want to start with if the script isn't solid, if your story isn't solid, then you're going to be floating. So we had to have something solid to kind of dig our teeth into.
Yeah. And then after we had mostly finished the script, I couldn't figure out what our locations would be until I went to Missouri to look at some of the locations. So the Wesselschmidts put us up, and Tom and I went around with Jim Wesselschmidt and kind of looked at all these places, and he was like, knocking on doors and driving around. Nobody calls anybody there. They just go to their houses, knock on doors, and they're like, "Hey, these guys want to make a movie. Okay, you guys, you're up." Oh, okay. And strangely enough, more people were open to the idea of us invading their home for, however long we needed to be there. But
Jim and Michelle were the ones who got us. Well, it was Lindsay's idea. Lindsay was the one who came up with the idea about using.
Well, we needed a farm. And
that's
she's like, "Oh, I might know somebody who has a farm, but we have to shoot it in Missouri." And I'm like, how could we not shoot it in Missouri? The farms out here are mostly orchards, and there's a lot of strawberry fields, and orchards, but there's no bean fields or corn that we get down in the south here. So,
and we're also, we're indie. We are indie, you wouldn't. We're very low budget. We didn't really have a budget. I mean, we had some awesome friends and family who loaned us money to get it started, but it's not like we had a big studio behind us. And, so we just wanted to do something that we could that we could produce, that we could do on our own. But we couldn't do it on our own and then our friends and family started chipping in and giving us money, seed money to start out. So that it ended up being less expensive, more economical for us to fly our core cast that we cast here in LA out to Missouri. To actually shoot there and use those locations and those amazing, generous people, and everybody had fun. I mean, everyone seemed to have fun. So yeah, we flew out. I think it was about 8 of us. Michael drove out with Ryan Griswold, the cinematographer, and we had our sound person, Rob Leon, and Yancey Wells. They came out as well too. He was our gaffer. Amazing work. We had a very, very small crew.
My brother came out to help on camera. You know, Steve Blum, who plays Tom Wolfs in the film. He's a special needs guy, but he was in the film, and he also was behind the scenes. He just did everything. So we had, we only had about, 10 people, including cast and crew, like running us around. And Angie, we shot on a 5D 4K.
Yes, I saw her question as you was talking about the camera, so I threw it up there real quick.
That kind of segued nicely. And then, Kim, what would you think? One of the
Tina asked, what would be one thought you hope the audience comes away thinking after seeing this film?
I'm gonna let you handle it.
Oh,
that's a good question, Tina.
I think we really like a discussion to occur. We love people to. I mean, like we said, we don't offer solutions, but there are some issues going on, and we would love it to actually spark conversation between people, and just for people to see. Love sounds so corny, but it's the
Beatles sang about love all the time.
So, I mean, they're just. Let me get back to you on that.
Well, I mean, you're going in the love direction.
There's so many things that you take away from the film. Everybody what we learned in the festival circuit was everybody takes something that they connect with away from the film. So if we had on Catalina, we had a man come up to us who was in his 70s, and he said, "I just came out when I was 70." And we're like, wow. He goes, but the relationship that these women have on screen is the relationship that I want. So yeah, that was something that he took away from the film. There are people that take away greed from the film. There are people that take away love from the film. There's so many elements that are there, but we don't. We focus on all of them, but we do feel that love is really the main.
Yeah.
Something has social and justice. There's still justice in there too. There's
justice isn't up. See, she's all over it.
Well, because it does have homophobia in it. It has that, so I can see the whole love thing, and like you said, even some with the migrant workers being like Latino and the stigma, I think, and sorry, but yes. If there's any more questions, you can throw them right up. But I have another one. Oh, did you, Demira? You go ahead. I don't want to take it.
No, because I want you to ask the questions that you told us you were going to ask, very personal about your parents. Let's get to
it. Well, I want to start off with saying, I mean, you were in the town. Were you planning to use a lot of the people within the town in the film, or is that just something that gradually happened?
Well, we flew a lot of our cast in from LA.
Okay.
And some of our crew, but I did cast out of Columbia, Missouri, not Columbia, South America. We cast, so we David Crespi is a professor at the Columbia University up there, and they connected us with a bunch of people that were actors and knew a lot of people. So L.R. Holtz was cast out of Columbia. Meredith Ludwig was cast out of Columbia. David
Who also,
Crespi.
yeah. Meredith also helped behind the scenes too.
Yeah.
She was there,
Yeah.
like helping every day too.
So we cast a lot of people out of Columbia, but the people in Labadie and Washington and Rosebud. Rosebud was like the biggest casting session for us because we needed a bunch of bar folk for one of the scenes there. And we actually cast the bartender who works there because why wouldn't we?
Yeah.
She's so amazing. She just looks like she could stare at chrome on a bumper and it would run away. You know, like
Yeah.
she's very tough on the outside, but she was such a pussycat on the inside.
Yeah. Never acted before.
No, she was so nervous, and we love her for that because you try to put on this face, you're like, I'm tough, I can do anything, and then once the cameras roll, and she's like, I don't know what I'm doing.
She was great. She was perfect. And Dan Terry, the police chief,
Chief police
of police.
And we are grateful for the town of New Haven for letting us
my
use the
gosh,
police
yeah.
station. And
all those wonderful, all the cops.
the cops.
Yeah.
All the police that are wearing riot gear in the film are actual police officers wearing their riot gear.
Yeah.
We couldn't get all the cops, but there were a few that didn't want to do it, but that's okay.
We did arrest in Herman as well too.
Yeah.
We're giving away the end.
I know. I was like, what?
Yeah,
Well, you mentioned the bar scene, and that what stood out to me was the music in that scene. I noticed it right away because right when you walk in there, and it's one of my dad's songs that was in that scene. And how did that come about? I mean, I'm sure you had to really talk him into using one of his songs in the movie, right?
Oh, yeah. Twist his arm, and I had to hold him at gunpoint. And like, no, Arnold, you gotta let me use this. He was like, no. Well, all right, yeah, it was fine. But,
Perfect. It was perfect for the scene.
Yeah, well, look, they helped out so much on set. It was number one. It's a great song, especially for that moment. The song's called "Am I That Easy to Forget?"
Yeah.
And it's such a metaphor for the people that have gone missing in the film, or the love that you seem to forget, or things of that nature. So it really, when I heard it, it's the first song on the DVD that he gave to me, and I'm like, oh wow, this is perfect first song out of the gate.
Yeah.
And I ended up using another song going back to Tennessee in the general store in the background. There's a lot of background music and things of that nature.
We got a great soundtrack. We had a lot of friends who are musicians, so we've got wonderful songs.
Yeah, we got a lot of bluegrass and country, and
we've got we got Rusty Tinder. We've got Rusty has a bunch of them. Susie Blaze
and the High Lonesome Band.
The High Lonesome Band is also there. She has this beautiful song at the end with the
Ernest
credits.
Troost.
Ernest Troost is there.
There's also a bluegrass guy in these. They're all pretty big in their own community, and they're excellent, and I would love to see more from your dad.
And then of course we had our amazing composer Alex Williamson, who just creates such a beautiful mood, and it's just it's a great soundtrack. You could just play it in the background.
Yeah. We're not sure what we're gonna do with that yet. We're deciding on whether or not we're gonna put out a record with all the music on it.
Definitely need
Michael has a
to.
song in it.
I do have a song.
Really? Oh, which one?
Pretty aggressive. You can't miss it. It's a heavy metal song. I do music too, so it's the scene where she's at the stop sign taking a breather.
Okay.
And the truck rolls up on her.
Okay.
We're gonna leave it just it's an aggressive scene with aggressive music, and
Uh-huh.
yeah, for sure, your mom says.
Yep. Look, we already have requests for the soundtrack, so I'm thinking that might be the next.
Well, we're working on it, Greg.
Well, along with
actually,
this,
we don't know about the soundtrack yet. We have a lot of rights to clear for the soundtrack. If we do, and I haven't really talked to any of the artists. Jim Bakke, who has he's got a tiki band. He has some music in the film as well. It's hold music.
Yes.
For the lawyer's office. It's very out of context for the moment, but we're not sure about the soundtrack yet. We're mulling it over, Gregory, but thank you.
Working on getting the DVD together right now.
We got a
too,
DVD coming out probably in the next couple of months as well.
Yeah.
Oh, will you have like deleted scenes and bloopers and stuff on it?
Oh, we have an extras reel with behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Very fun.
We didn't really have a lot of deleted scenes. We have like 3 scenes that we cut because it just wasn't flowing, but then there's scenes that we cut down from the original scenes that we felt kind of took the air out of, we need to take the air out of the scene because it was just too much.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of cut it down so that it created more tension, especially like the Bob Wilkes scene with where he's got the gun. Now, whether or not you've seen the film, it's all, about, how tight could we make the film without, hopefully not boring the audience.
It moves. It's only 73 minutes, so it moves along at a good pace. And, we tested it. We had a lot of friends watch it, give us notes. I mean, the feedback we got was great, and we just trimmed it down, and tried to get it to, with the help of our editor, Jen Bale, who was amazing,
and Mike
Blum,
who was our supervising
editor.
host.
So it was
up in the Bay Area, California, San Francisco area.
We trimmed it down, so hopefully it moves along. Hopefully everybody stays involved, intrigued, and enjoys the ride.
Well, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, no, to say, Greg, as long as Arnold's cool.
Well, I was going to say, even my kids watched it and enjoyed it, but their favorite scene was, and I had to rewind it many, many times at the end when my mom and dad make their appearance. And I have 2 questions concerning this one. Number 1, Michael, did you not tell my dad something about the hair? Could he not pull the hair back or something like that? Who advised him? Do we have a makeup crew or anything?
Well, I like my actors to make choices. Because, look, that's who your dad is.
It is. I'm next to him.
Like, I didn't see him any other way, so it just kind of fell into place. So yes, the hair was his idea.
I love it. It's a lot more grown out now, Michael, if you haven't seen him, and he likes to do the braid now. I'll braid it for him and everything. So he's definitely back.
On him. And then take a picture and send it to us.
Yeah.
We'd love to see it.
And my second question had to do with the editing. Because my favorite shot in the whole movie is the close-up of my mom's backside. So
again, actor's choice.
At least there's no nudity, okay?
Yes.
So all the moms watching here, there's no nudity.
Although we've had people ask us, is there nudity in it? It's no. We kind of cursing. There's definitely cursing, but and there's some violence, but no nudity because whatever. We could have, but it was just not really discussed that.
Unnecessary.
And Gregory said the butt shot was my dad's idea too. And my mom followed, I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble.
You're in trouble.
If she had offered for it to be a nude scene, we would have considered that, shifting the, whatever.
Arrest them in their pajamas. But we wanted to kind of, the butt shot's really not about the butt. There's something else,
Yes,
preceding it, and
Yes.
Well, you have to watch the movie to know what we're talking about.
We have a lot of wonderful locals in the end montage. A lot goes into the montage. We had so many people helping with that. So, but I think we really have to give a shout out to Cowboy as well too.
Yeah.
Wow.
Cowboy. Who's Cowboy?
Cowboy was our, in addition to your mom and dad, to the Wesselschmidts, to everyone that helped out on the film, Cowboy was kind of our production angel.
Oh, gosh.
He gave us generators. So Cowboy, let me back up a little. So Cowboy owns the market. And it says Cowboys Labadee Market right on the front of the building.
Okay.
Cowboy's got a big lasso on the front of it. It's Cowboy's hat. His hat is his trademark. And we used the hat several times, in the same shot, So we needed to get generators for the nighttime shoots. My car and Ryan's car were both filled with equipment, lighting equipment, camera equipment. And we just didn't have, and my car was the car in the film that Karen drives around in. So we would have to empty my car every time we shot the car moving.
Indie film. Indie.
Yeah.
So we ended up, going over to Cowboys to pick up the generators, and he looked at our situation and he said, "Do you guys need a truck?" And Ryan was like, yes, we do. And I'm like, well, we don't have the money for a truck. He's like, just bring it back in one piece. Do you guys need a driver too? We're like, if you can spare one, that would be great.
Yeah,
so,
Sergeant.
Yeah. So we ended up getting that grip truck and just
and the location.
The location. For the mom and pop store. His house we ended up shooting at. He's one of the extras in the film with his girlfriend, and
the gifts were amazing. Like what we got from the Missouri,
the people at Happy Apples.
Oh my gosh, yeah,
who helped us get actual migrant workers, legal migrant workers. Who basically worked on the orchard, and she was there, and she translated for us, and helped us kind of get things rolling. I mean, there was just so many things that we're grateful for that we just really.
Clancy's Bar. We got Clancy's Bar for locations as well too. It's just like
Clancy's, Clancy,
amazing.
Not Tom Clancy, but Clancy. Although that would have been nice. But Clancy's Bar, they let us close down the bar on Dollar Burger Night, which was like, what? You want to do what? So, but we were grateful for that. We compensated them with, the following week, everybody got a free burger or cheeseburger.
Oh, that's nice.
Some of them got
cheeseburgers. But everybody just really kind of pitched in and helped that. And that's just something we're extremely grateful for. Yeah. So.
And you're planning to have a premiere, like back in Missouri, right? Or are you gonna?
We'd love to do a screening there.
There?
Trying to work that out.
We want to do a theatrical presentation of the film in New Haven. Yeah. Because there's one movie theater in New Haven. There's one street in New Haven, but there's a theater. Yeah. And there's Pinckney Bend, which we're also grateful for because. Tara Steffens, who basically kind of was our contact, hooked us up with the town and the officers and, let us use their label in the bar scene. And, you know, we have nothing but love for all these people. So
And their whiskey.
and their
Sorry.
whiskey. So good.
Yeah.
So basically, we're just, you know, we're overwhelmed still.
Yeah.
But yeah, we do want to do something, hopefully around the festival that's there in April. But you know, we'll see what we can do. We need the help of Nancy Grace Dernan and some other people to kind of get that ball rolling, Nancy.
Yeah, we'd love to share it with the town. We would love to share this, you know, share the night, share screening it with the whole town, because they made it happen. They made the amazing people. Oh my gosh, it was just
and we're gonna, and then, you know, hopefully party somewhere. But we've got a lot of places to decide on, you know, where we're going to party and have a good time. But it's, you know, it was our goal to kind of screen the movie there in the first place, but we just haven't been around. You know, it took almost 2 years to finish the film.
And you've been busy winning awards. I get it. But if it happens,
that was 3 straight weeks in a row. Bing,
wow.
bang, boom, that was it. So, like, all that time leading up to it was, you know, getting the movie ready and you know, because we couldn't.
Too.
Sound took a long time to do. And,
Greg,
our sound post sound guy mixed the film. You know, you've heard the film, so it's very quiet and there's not a lot of explosions and things. But
and we do have some CG that had to happen as well too. You know, we did have some. Gregory Jones worked with Phil
and Sean.
Phil and Sean on it. So I mean, there are some special effects, but you can't see them.
Yeah,
you can't see that.
Little things to kind of, you know, either cover something up or you know, the biggest CG that we did in the film was the house where they lived was too big, so we cut the top off the house.
We didn't do it. They did.
Like, we didn't chainsaw it across no.
It's amazing.
Greg Jones basically erased the one of the levels on the house so that it looked a lot smaller and felt more like something that they could afford on their salaries. Mm-hmm. So and he put trees behind it. It looks natural.
Can't tell.
I had no idea.
All the computer stuff.
That's right.
Was done. Sean Hickey did a lot of the computer stuff.
Yeah.
You know,
because you can't just go on and use. You know, there's logos and there's rights, and you can't just use, you know, hop on Google and use Google. You have to, everything has to be changed so you don't get sued.
Yeah.
So he had to come up with it. Sean had to come up with all of the different logos,
websites and things like that. So, you know, we had a lot of work to do outside of just shooting the movie. Because, I mean, shooting the movie only took about 18 days total.
Oh, wow.
So it was an 18-day shoot in Missouri and LA. And
there were about 5 days in LA.
Well, plus pickups, couple of days of pickups. But we shot mainly in Missouri. And then once all the footage was in, we gave it to our editor, and that took probably almost a year.
Yeah. Yeah, wow.
Almost a year to do because, you know, it's our first film. So, you know, we want to make sure that it's, you know, not too long, not too short. It's got to be something that works. And then the audio took about 6 months or so. And then, but we had already submitted to festivals by that point. But the audio was a big thing for me because, you know, sound is very important to film. Very, very important. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you've watched movies that have terrible sound. Even though they look beautiful, there's something off about it. You know, they look great, but they don't sound good. It kind of doesn't help the film. So we wanted to make sure that all the elements, because we don't have big stars in the film. We have Joe Bottoms, who we absolutely love, and you know, this is kind of a comeback for him as well. You know, he's He's done some Disney movies. He was on a bunch of soap operas in the in
Santa Barbara.
in Santa Barbara, and I think the Days of Our Lives. I think he was on for a
He
while.
was so much fun. He's such a fun guy.
He's a
Oh my
big time
gosh.
guy. He's just been out of sight for a while, but
He's surfing.
he's surfing in Santa Barbara.
Surfing, surf sailing. Surf sailing?
He sails.
Joe, chime in. What are you doing?
He's surfing over waves. He's an
Amazing.
incredible person.
Love.
But we want to make sure that everything is firing on all cylinders, because that's all we really have.
And I think you'll notice the sound like right in the beginning, because Greg and Michael massaged there's a moment.
The cicadas.
The cicadas in the
And the
very
alarm clock.
the very beginning. So you'll hear it, and it's just so much work went into the sound. It's
Well, yeah.
Well, we will wrap it up with one more question. And my mom has she asked when we can expect another film. And I'm just going to say, Michael, I bet a lot of people would like a Geekly Show film. I'm just going to put that out there, Michael, but go ahead.
Well, I am working on a couple of films right now, scripts. One of them we really want to do, but it's just a little bit out of our price range at the moment. We have to see if we can get our actress to agree to come back. So we had Elaine Hendricks and Holly Hirsch signed on to do a film. If you're not familiar with Elaine, she is on Sex, Drugs, Rock and Roll. That was the show. She was in Rami and Michelle's high school reunion. She was the fashion designer. She was in What the Bleep Do We Know? She's a great actress, and we would love to work with her on this film that we just haven't had the opportunity to kind of get rolling. But there's a few ideas floating around that we're just trying to see what we could do next, what's affordable for us, and whether or not we're able to raise enough money to do it.
and put your father's songs in and your mother's butt.
Well, thank you so much for. Did any of you, Amira, or Tessa, have anything to?
No, I'm good.
No,
No?
this is amazing.
Yes.
Thank
I'm
you
like-
guys for being here.
I know. I'm like dying to see this movie now. Like, I'm going to probably watch it as soon as we get off here.
Rate, review, Amazon, IMDb. Give us your love.
Yeah.
I will.
Well,
And if
thanks
you can
so much.
take away from the film, here we go, see if I can bring it back, an awareness and not being afraid to bring justice when justice needs to be brought.
Yes. Thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
that.
No, it's perfect.
Right.
Perfect.
That was awesome.
Now, we always end the show with something our other Geekly just loves, and we would love you to join in. We end it with a little jazz hands, Michael and Kim, and we like to. So thank you for coming on and watching us today, and thank you so much for joining us and getting up early because you're on LA time over there, right?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
And join us again next week because we have some other coverage coming up of other movies that might not be as big as Cicada Song, but you know.
Thank you all.
So thanks. So stay geekly.
Geekly.